Well, officially, I graduated from school in about '07, but ever since I can remember, I've always been a little bit affectionate towards massage, always stretching out the athletes in school and wrapping up ankles and knees. Just had a really good feel for it. But graduated in '07 from Center of Massage and Natural Health in Asheville, North Carolina. Really good school. They give you a wide range of Eastern medicine to Western medicine. I definitely recommend it for anybody. Even if you're not a therapist, I'd still recommend you go to the school, and it'll open up a whole new view of how to live your life. Ever since '07, I've been practicing and gaining experience in every which way I can find, and I try to learn something new in every massage that I do. I always keep my mind open for new things and new techniques.
What is the area you want to target with the first move that you're going to do today? Do you have a name for that?
Not really necessarily a name, but it is a forearm technique, and I kind of like to use the forearm techniques just to help save and preserve my hands. It starts out at lumbar area, and it's generally just a first time move to loosen the body and get it ready for more specific work. Start at the lumbar, and I go all the way up the erectors, all the way up to the shoulder. There's a couple different ways you can end the technique, so it's really however you're feeling during the massage. And then with the second technique, it's more the top of the shoulder, starting at the trap and wrap back around, and then end at the lat, which I found that most people really, really enjoy.
The lat being?
Latissimus.
So the low back again.
Yeah. Very
good. So that essentially you can do the whole back with this technique.
Yeah, and like I said, I like to start with it just to get the body warmed up and ready for more direct massage. All right. Let me know when you're ready.
Anytime.
All right. So now I'll be showing you two techniques. Pretty general warm-up techniques, can be used in many different ways. First, when I have any client on the table, I like to let them be introduced to my touch. I'll just start base hand, just to let them get a feel, and it gets them a little bit more comfortable. And now at the first part of this technique, always keep your wrist nice and loose, and make sure your body mechanics are nice and lined up. Now I'll take, which on this side is my left forearm, and I will try to position it right on the iliac crest there. Hold it right in place. That way you can get a nice range of motion going through the spine here with the other. Now before I start out with the lotion, I'm going to do a couple dry techniques. And this is just to get it ready, and it's like almost like a stretch. Now I'll position my left on the iliac, and I'll take my right, and I'm focusing on her right side right here. And the first part I'm going to focus on lumbar area, and you just put enough pressure, and you want to be careful of kidneys as well. But I'll take that, and I'm using about this area of my forearm. I'll apply just a little bit of pressure, just to feel the skin stretch and everything want to stretch out. And I'll just push up like I'm doing now, and just get a nice general stretch to get the muscles warmed up and ready for the actual technique. And then you can actually just keep spider walking this technique all the way up. Put a little bit more pressure as I'm getting more precise with the position of my forearm. And I'll walk it up even more. You can get up into the rhomboid area just to give it a nice stretch. Always keep that wrist nice and loose. And if you want, while you're doing this, you can actually do some tapodema with your whole body. Just break it down inside. You can go all the way up even more. I'll do this technique. I'll do it, it's the same side of the iliac crest, and I'll even go up this way, but you got to be a little bit more precise on your stretch. It's a little bit harder with the dexterity that you have. And you can walk that all the way up as well. Then I'll switch sides to do that as well. Now, after such, I'll go ahead and apply my lotion or oil while I'm doing this, I can even grab that iliac down there and push on it, and it'll give it even more of a stretch. Come back up, just apply and apply and apply until I get a nice glide. Usually 1 or 2. Be mindful of the hair. You don't want to get any hair caught in the forearm techniques. Now first, if you want to warm up the lumbar, you can start up in this area. Now I'm going to glide down. You want to be careful of the kidneys again right in this area. Then once you get down here is when you actually want to put some force. And once you hit that iliac crest, you can kind of push on it and give it a nice little stretch. You don't want to do it too much, but you can actually do this one on both sides as you're doing it. And I tend to like to go deeper and deeper each time I go, so those muscles aren't a little bit frightened, they can warm up to the technique. And it's just a simple glide, kind of rolling the forearm at the end just to give it an extra little stretch. You get the general. You can do that over and over and over again. And then after that, I'll come back in, down. Now I'll even throw in a little bit, a little saw motion here. I'm not pressing too hard. I'm just giving it enough to give it a nice feeling. And especially with this right, I'm not really even digging down right there just because of those kidneys. Now after that, now that you've got a little bit of lubrication on there, you can stretch it up. Depending on your glide is probably the speed that you're going to go. You can either continue with the technique or you can just stop and stretch it up. Or even put a little bit more pressure into those rhomboids. All the way, come back around. I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit more lotion so I can get a better glide. And like before, left arm, iliac, and the right arm's going to do all the work for you. And you can either kind of have a flowing motion with it like this, which is real relaxing, or you can get a little bit in depth, slow down, maybe even stop on some points, wrap around. Now you can even go from here into the top of the trap and roll it. Do that as many times as you want, and then you can even push up and come back down on top of it and go down a little bit until you get about around the kidneys, and then you can let off of it a little bit. And I'll do that a good 15 to 30 times on each side. Go back around, do it on the other side. It's a good technique for general warm-up to get it ready, and then after that you can get a little bit more specific. Now, I'm going to move on to my second technique. And you can actually have the arms either way, but for the first part I like to have them up, and then later I'll go to move. Alright, so second technique. I like to start somewhere at the shoulder area. Once again, watch your body mechanics, because this one will really, you'll try to lean over like that, so kind of going to drop the squat. Now I'm starting right at the trap, and I'm going to work towards the rhomboid. Then I'm going to come back around, I'm going to end with the insertion of latissimus dorsi right there. Now this one, typically most people have their problems right here all the way through, especially in the rhomboids. So when I start, I'm going to push up, pull it about right there, and then I'm going to come back around. And you can even pull this one down in too, and just keep it going. And then once you get the feel of it, you can start the flow of it.
That's really cool.
Now with this one, you can go to a lot of different areas. If you wanted to, you could carry it all the way down, then come back up. So on the other side, you come back, go all the way. And then if you wanted to get precise. If you feel a lot of stress in there and you want to give it some pressure, you can just raise up and go into that praying hands kind of technique. You can sit there, do Tapodama. Just loosen it up. You just got to be careful. Like I said again, just it's a nice flowing motion. People generally like it just because it's all over. It's in this area, it really gets a lot of stress with all the things that we're doing nowadays, like driving, constantly holding our arms like that, and it's stretching out those rhomboids. So the shoulder blades and scapula are getting stretched out this way. So it typically likes to work a lot of different muscles. And from there you can, after you get that warmed up, you can go to the arm and give it a nice stretch. Hook each other's elbows in there. I like this stretch because you can move it around and go top to bottom. Give it a nice little relaxing pull down fingertips. And just like I started with all my massages, I like to let them know that it's done by going back to that starting position. This will generally tell them that massage is over, which sometimes can be a problem for most people because they never want the massage to be over. After every massage, I'll thank them for their time, answer any of their questions that they might have, and they'll be on their way.